All right. Well, hey, everybody. Cleta the Cheetah here. It is April the 24th, 2023. So that's 42423. I know. Don't you love numbers? I saw something today and I was so excited to learn that the very last day of this month of this year, I'm going to just mess something up. Bless. Okay, it looks like I'm still streaming. That the very last day of this year, somebody check it, go to YouTube and see if it's rolling. The very last day of this year is going to be 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I know y'all wanted to know that. 12, 31, 23. Get it? Okay. Anyway, so today is April 24th, 2023. And I just got back and Gina Wood, we went to this amazing event, the national area debut for Karen Ridle and her dream team area. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we do, I want to say something about last week. Last week, and if someone could just verify. Okay, great. Thank you, Maureen. Last week we talked about the Shop My Party. And I just wanted to, had come up in a couple of other different things. I wanted y'all to know that when you share a link, let's say you're just doing your own party and you're sharing the link with some people, okay? If they open your, let's say you text it to them or you email it to them or however you get them, and they're on their computer and they click on that link, it will take them to marykay.com, yourmarykay.com. If they are on their phone and they click on the link you send them, it'll take them to the app. Or if they don't have the Mary Kay app, it will prompt them to download the Mary Kay app from the App Store. And then they will have to find you as the beauty consultant. So it'll be one or the other. So if they're on their phone, it's going to direct them to the app. If they're on the computer, it's going to direct them to marykay.com/your thing. Okay, so just wanted you to be aware of that, because if they come back and go, hey, this thing's telling me I got to download this, just say that's right, or you may even say, when you click on the link, if you don't have the Mary Kay app, it's going to ask you to download it. It's a free app, and then just look for my name. That's important to say, look for my name, because then they'll have to go back and click on it again. And once they register on there, it'll go on there, that link. So you may practice this. Like, what I would do is go set up a party in your own name to start like tomorrow and end 30 days from now, and then text that link to your husband, okay, or your daughter or somebody. Heck, you can't text it to yourself. Well, you could text it to yourself. You can even text it to yourself. But I think it'd be good to text it to someone and let them and see what it looks like when they get it and how it opens it up. Does that make sense? And that way you understand. Text it to someone who does not have the app and see what it says. Okay. And how it directs them to that. So you will know a little bit better. All right. So we're going to start out with a little bit different, but we're going to tie it all in together. Karen's theme is her area's name is the Dream Team. And it's all about making dreams come true and what dreams that people have financed with their Mary Kay career. And I ran across something that I shared on our group page on Cheetah Nation this week. And it was about a Mary Kay national sales director from Canada and her story. And Sayla and I were talking about it today at lunch. And I'm like, Sayla, I said, it impacted her too. And I would like her to read it to you guys today, because I thought it was so good. And I think that you guys will really get something out of it. So, Sayla, I'm going to bring you up here and let you get with it, sister. And thank you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. So I thought this was so good. It says, Canadian National Sales Director Emeritus Sandy Campbell is a woman of courage, not only within her Mary Kay career. Hang on, I just had to see if I was muted. Not only within her Mary Kay career, but within the legal system of Canada, she has impacted lives and made a difference. I am proud to share her story with you. As a child, I was extremely shy, so my parents put me into figure skating. I loved it with all my heart and skated 40 hours a week. Once I got on the ice, I had all the confidence in the world. At the age of 18, I became a professional ice skater. Then I got engaged. I always wanted to be a mother and realized very quickly that teaching skating early every morning and after school until late in the evening wasn't conducive to this desire. So I got a job with a bank. A year after being married, I became pregnant with my first daughter and just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom as my mom had to work. I was blessed beyond measure with 3 beautiful daughters. However, no one knew I was living in a dangerous and abusive marriage. After my 3rd daughter was born, my husband told me I had to get a job. He worked for an oil company and made excellent money. However, it was his money. If I wanted to put the girls in any activities, I had to pay for it. So I did janitorial work in the evenings and started a daycare in my home with 7 children under the age of 7, not including my 3. While taking one of my daughters to play school, a beautiful lady approached me and asked if I would like a Mary Kay facial. Immediately, I said no. She was politely persistent and I finally agreed. Because of the 90% money back guarantee, I bought the entire basic. 3 months later, she shared with me the opportunity to become a personal use consultant, which I did, adamant that I would never sell. I have always believed that if someone says they only want to sign up for personal use, it truly doesn't mean that is really why they are signing up. Often, as in my case and so many others, women join Mary Kay as personal use consultants because of a lack of self-esteem. The job of a leader is to breathe belief into women until they believe in themselves. It is a leader's responsibility to gently plant the seeds of opportunity over and over again. 3 months after I began my Mary Kay business, my recruiter left Mary Kay. I thank her every time I run into her because she did what Mary Kay asked her to do. She passed this opportunity on to me. With my home daycare, I earned $2,000 a month. Within 3 months of working my business, I was able to drop the daycare and devote my time to my children and work only 1/4 of the time I used to. I attended my first career conference in March 1993. It changed my life. I heard National Sales Director Emeritus Donna Lowry talking about her amazing paycheck that month, an aha moment for me. I realized I could create a future for me and my family. My sales director told me Mary Kay Ash was coming to the Canadian seminar, and if I really wanted to meet her, I should become a sales director. I went home with a plan and put action behind it, earning my first diamond ring, my bumblebee, my car, and debuting as a brand new sales director at seminar that year. Within a year and a half, we moved into what I thought was my dream home, but my life was filled with personal challenges. I was married to a severely abusive husband who beat me before I would go and do a party. I would leave the house, pull over, wipe my tears, fix my makeup, and go to the party. Often I would come home and my office and products would be entirely trashed. In 1997, he was arrested and charged with 5 criminal convictions of abuse causing bodily harm and threats causing bodily harm. I was in court 3 times a week for the first 3 years. It was mentally exhausting, terrifying, and overwhelming. It was not unusual to have to respond to 3 of his affidavits a week. His goal was to bankrupt me. I lived in crisis mode for years, helping my mother take care of my dying father, tending to his needs, and helping them financially. The month my dad died, I had just requalified for another Cadillac. Being a pink Cadillac driver was non-negotiable for me. My number 1 priority was my daughter's safety. At the drop of a hat, I could race to the school whenever they called the police due to their safety being threatened by my ex-husband breaching the restraining order. I met my new husband, Don, during this time at the courthouse of all places. I was there so much he thought I was a professional witness for the government. He said I never looked like a victim. John and I fell deeply in love, and I honestly never have been loved so unconditionally by anyone the way he loved me. After our marriage, because my ex-husband kept terrorizing us, we built a new home on the other side of the city. The entire time I was still being stalked by my ex-husband. I knew that I needed to work as everything depended on me. I knew that I had to give God the opportunities for him to create the miracles. Mary Kay taught us that when you act enthusiastic, you will become enthusiastic. I practiced what she taught as it was my lifeline. I scheduled my meltdowns for when I got home and the kids were in bed. Because I had a purpose, I did not buy into the excuse of being a victim. A purpose is something that you are no longer willing to live without. I was not going to live without the financial freedom and flexibility that Mary Kay provided for me to raise my daughters the way I wanted to raise them. It was non-negotiable. For the first 3 years after his first arrest, I was the only person paying the mortgage, the bills, and the lawyers while continuing to help my parents financially. A year after my dad passed away, my mom was laid off from her job due to the company being sold. I was able to financially help her during this time. I believe if I had had any other career than Mary Kay, I could never have afforded to do that. Don't ever doubt that this opportunity worked. The Mary Kay career works when we work with the priority of God, family, and career. It's that simple. I will be forever grateful to Mary Kay for teaching me how to fake it until I make it. Some ask, isn't faking it the opposite of living your life authentically? Absolutely not. Mary Kay meant that by faking it until you make it, one doesn't just write and speak an affirmation, but lives that affirmation as if it was already there. A walking, breathing, living goal poster. You need to live your vision and not your reality. What you think about, you bring about. I can count how many times I heard Mary Kay remind us of that. It is much harder to go through a crisis when you are broke. You know the saying, you are either in a crisis, just getting out of a crisis, or you are about to enter a crisis. This rule applies to all of us. Mary Kay also taught us a setback is a setup for a comeback. The year we did the $1 Million Circle of Excellence, breaking production records, is the year I faked it till I made it over and over again. However, it was one of my toughest personal years as I was in court fighting for another restraining order to protect my family. I faked the feeling of being safe. I fully believed God was in control. If I hadn't learned to do this along with the art of compartmentalizing my fears, I could not have accomplished the million or the goal of becoming a national sales director the following year. I knew that becoming a national sales director would afford me the means to help look after my mother and give my daughters a financially secure future. NSD was my goal from the beginning. The $1 Million unit just happened along the way. Another Mary Kay quote came true. When you shoot for the moon, you land among the stars. The next year, the Supreme Court of Canada granted its first lifetime restraining order to me. At that time in Canada, there was only a maximum 3-year restraining order. The self-confidence I regained in Mary Kay enabled me to represent as my own lawyer in the Supreme Court of Canada. My lawyer told me that I might as well do this instead of paying her to lose. It was a huge win. Keeping the lifetime restraining order in place, this win created a new case law in Canada that other lawyers now use as a precedent to help protect women in severe circumstances. Mary Kay is more than just makeup. I am a living testimony that it is. And that's it. And this is a picture. And she is the blonde to the right of Mary Kay. That's her. So, wow.
I mean, it's when I saw it, it said, hang on just a minute. Let me put myself up there with you, girlie. when I saw the thing on there, Sayla, it said, read this if you have ever been in an abusive, it don't even say marriage abusive situation, but it just caught my eye because it was about a national. So I read it anyway, even though I'm not in an abusive situation, but I think it speaks to everybody, not just people that have been abused, but also just the things that Mary Kay can do for your business. For your life, you never know what people are going through, right? And isn't that what you got, Sayla? And just to not give up.
Well, I mean, we all have, what we call excuses and reasons why we don't, achieve or accomplish. And some of them, most of them, we would all agree at different times are very legitimate. But, when you read about a woman like that who is getting the mess beat out of them, and she literally wipes her face and goes on and does a party, that is, and it also goes to saying that, you never, ever know what people are going through, how much money they have, even if in this lady's case, her husband was making great money. And so why wouldn't anyone think that they were perfectly fine? But we just need to share. And like one of the gals said on the call earlier, that it's not about asking people to sell something. You speak to their leadership and who they are as a person, because that woman is a champion by anybody's standards. And I don't know, it just really, really touched me. Ooh, it was
Me too.
something.
Me too. Thank you, Sayla. I'm glad we talked about that today. And some of you may have already read it, but even just hearing it again, I'm like, wow. So you never know whose lives you're touching, and you never know the person. Think of that girl that got in, recruited this lady, and then got out 3 months later. But the fact that she recruited that lady changed that lady's life, possibly saved her life, So you don't know who you share it to, that they may just really need it. And anyway, thank you, Sayla. I appreciate it. That's so good. So good. Okay, you guys, I want to show you a picture. And this is when we got to Karen's debut. I don't know, this showing other stuff besides just the picture, but hopefully you can see this picture. And it is the Wall of Dreams. They had this massive brick wall with pink bricks, and then all these little things on it. And so let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so y'all can kind of just see. So it had people's names and she had them do a Google form, and she said the goal for the area was for them to finance $60,000 of dreams from, I believe it was January the 15th through April the 15th or April the 30th, something like that. It was like 3 months. And so they had to fill out a Google form and put what they financed with the profit from selling Mary Kay. And so it wasn't just like all her wholesale orders divided by 2. It wasn't nothing like that. It was like they actually had to say, this is what I spent my money on. Okay, so they had a goal of 60,000. And she told me, I talked to her, I think it was about the beginning of April. And she said, or maybe it was the end of March, she goes, I think we'll make it, to 60,000. So I'll tell you what it ended up being. But she had these girls do this, and then they put on here stuff that they use their money for. For example, this gal, Allison Corbin, $220 for a new ceiling fan for my bedroom. We're remodeling. Maisie Rowe, $317 for a down payment for a summer vacation, and on and on. And it was just this big, huge wall of all these people and the things that they had financed with their Mary Kay profits, which was really amazing. And so when they got that night, they had a poster, and it showed how many, they added it up. And she said, we made it over what we needed. And I'm going to show you if I can find it quickly. If not, I won't. I'll just tell it to you. But I did take a picture of it, of how much it ended up being. Okay, yeah, here it is. Awesome. Okay, so check this out. This was the grand total of what they saw, of how much many dreams they financed with their Mary Kay business. $138,999.67. I'm like, can't somebody spend 33 cents more and make that 138,900? Anyway, of dreams with their profit. And then she had them all come up on stage, everyone that had filled out a form and participated. And then she had the top 3 speak. And so it was so impactful, because sometimes when we're talking to people about selling Mary Kay, okay, maybe you're trying to get in your red jacket, and you're like, I just gotta have a red jacket. I gotta be a senior consultant. I just need 2 more people to be my last one. Instead of saying, hey, what would some extra money do for your Mary Kay business? If you had, what would be something you would like to purchase right now that you need money for, that you don't have and really don't know how you're going to get it? And they may say something as little as, well, I really need just gas for my car for next week. Or they may say, I need to put groceries on the table. Or they might say, I have a credit card bill, but I don't know how it's ever going to get paid, because honestly, I'm just paying the interest. Or they might say, I'm trying to buy my husband a boat or something crazy like that, right? And so by them thinking, and I want you to think we had a lunch meeting today, and I told everyone to write down something in the next 4 weeks that they would like to pay for with the profits from their Mary Kay sales. Okay. Some people at the beginning of their Mary Kay career, they do take some of the profits and they invest in a little bit more inventory because they just want to get their business going. And that's okay. But at some point, you need to pay yourself a profit. So I hate to hear somebody says, oh, I never spend any of that money. Well, you are in business. So I mean, honestly, I spend it. It's the only money I have coming in. My husband, of course, makes money now too, but I've been single, and it's the only check. It's the only money going into my checkbook is what I sell, and then my director commission check, right? And so, so I want y'all to hear a couple of things. But she had a booklet, and on this Dream Team booklet, she had a booklet, and she had her story. And I just want to show you. This is a picture of Karen, and she is just, she's been in Mary Kay 30 years. I've experienced 10 top director trips with her and many other fun little trips. And so I want to read you her story, and then I want to read you some of her sales directors, and they all put one of their favorite things that they financed with their Mary Kay career. Okay, so her story is that she has a Bible verse. And she said, it seems appropriate to start this note to you with my life verse and our area verse. And it's Ephesians 3:20. And I know a lot of you that may even know this without me reading it. And it's, now glory be to God, who by his mighty power at work within us is able to do far more than we would ever dare ask or even dream of, infinitely. And this is the TLB translation. And she said, I'm going to read her little thing. She says, that's exactly what God has done with my leap of faith 30 years ago when I said yes to starting my own Mary Kay business. I had no idea the ripple effect that yes would have in my life, not to mention all the lives that God has gathered to mine over the years. He truly has done immeasurably more than I could ever have imagined. I'm so grateful he gave me the courage to say yes to starting my Mary Kay business 30 years ago as a college graduate and a newlywed. But he gave me even more courage to say yes, coming back to Mary Kay after 5 years of stepping away from a business due to a tough divorce. It seemed like the least likely thing to do in the midst of a crazy busy life that included being a mom to 8-year-old Trey, who was playing travel baseball and busy in elementary school. Being a newlywed to Chuck, plus working a 60 to 70 hour week job with my job as a marketing manager at a law firm. In fact, I totally remember thinking, I'm crazy to even consider restarting my business. But God knew exactly what I needed, and he gave me the faith and the courage to say yes again. How many of y'all been in more than once? You know who you are, okay? As a result, my life has forever changed. I'm so grateful to him for this Mary Kay opportunity and for his incredible blessings over the years. She said, my faith-filled efforts led me to the incredible achievements that I could never have imagined. I'm grateful I said yes to working my business consistently, dreaming big dreams, and trusting God with every step forward, even the ones backwards over the years. My consistent work over the years has helped me build a strong customer base, a personal team, a top unit, and now a dream team national area. I have loved the phenomenal rewards that come with building a strong Mary Kay business, like driving pink for 20 years, traveling the world on 11 five-star top director trips with Chuck all over the world, earning a six-figure income while working from home. But honestly, I thank God most for all the people he has placed in my life and who I have become as a result of my experiences and being around these and has provided me with freedom and is and being around these incredible people. I love my Mary Kay life. It has provided me with the freedom and flexibility to be home with my family while still being able to make choices that I would never have been able to had I worked in corporate America. I'm incredibly grateful for my family. They are everything. They have believed in me, encouraged me every step of the way. I've loved celebrating the many wins over the years and even crying tears on the missed goals with them. I love each of you dearly and thank you from the bottom of my heart for always being there for me and Chuck. I also want to thank my friends. I won't start naming names because the list will go on forever. Chuck and I have been thrilled to have each of you as registered guests. And then she goes on and thanks for national area. And so this is a picture of her son, and he started the program out. This is the daughter-in-law right here, and then their little grandbaby. And that's the picture of her mother and dad up here, and Chuck and the grandbaby. And the whole program started out with Trey, her son, who's like 6 foot, I don't even know, 3 or 4. And he just, tears just coming down his eyes, talking about his mom and what she did for him as a single mom. And all the work and everything he saw her and taking her to school in the pink Cadillac and him driving with the prom. Like he said, I was trying to impress the ladies, he said, in high school by driving the pink Cadillac to the prom. He said they never were impressed by me. They was impressed by my mom instead. She said, so I used a different angle. And in college, he said, I hooked them in by giving them makeup at wholesale. And so he said he goes, that's how I got them. I got them to date me because he got makeup at wholesale from my mom. And he said, and his wife, he talked about his beautiful wife. And of course, they had their little son and she's expecting again, but he got up there and he got choked up 2 or 3 times. And to see the impact that Mary Kay has made on Karen, that trickled down to her, her big, tall son, up there, emotional. It was so touching to see what Mary Kay had done. And her mother and dad, I got to meet her mother at a luncheon, and her mother had a list of all of Karen's directors. And she said every morning she would get up, she had a board, and she would pray. She said, I get up every morning, I say, good morning, girls, it's time to go to work. And she would pray for each and every person on that list by name every single day. She knew every single one of them. And of course, she's been to seminar. She's a consultant, you know that, right? And she's 80, I think she's 85 or something like that. But I got to meet her and I took my picture with her. She's just a precious lady, and her dad too. And so it was just so neat to see the whole family so supportive of Karen in her journey. And so I wanted to just share with you a couple of things that these ladies this is her area, all her pictures, and just a very a diverse group. Even had a man in there. Where is he? He's not in this picture. They even have a male director as well. So these are a couple things that some of her directors said they finance. And I'm telling you this for you to think for yourself, what can I get excited about to pay for with some profits for Mary Kay? Because then you might be a little more motivated to book a party, right? And to call that next customer and to share the opportunity with somebody. So this gal, her name is Tracy Randall, and she, get this, she began her Mary Kay career February 2019. She submitted for DIQ on September the 1st, 2019. And she finished on October the 1st, 2019, 1 month. She is a future executive senior sales director, which means she has 3 or 4 offspring. She said that after her first year in October 2020, the company called her to tell her that she was the #1 in her debuting class of all the directors that debuted during that year, and on what that Mary Kay calls the Dean's List, which was pretty impressive. This is what she said. My favorite thing that my Mary Kay profits paid for, and this is so cute, okay? She said it was for a Louis Vuitton crossbody purse. She says, initially I set my goal to use my profits to pay for a Louis Vuitton crossbody purse for myself. But that quickly erased my mind because that was for me and I can bless myself anytime. She said, then I thought maybe I could select paying off one of my husband's credit cards to lead toward a debt-free journey. I thought, no, I can do that again another time. Then she said, my most memorable item financed for my business so far is not flashy and shiny. It was for someone else, someone dear to me, and I will never have the opportunity to finance anything else for him again, my dad. And she said, it was a walker. The mobility in his leg was declining and he needed a better walker. I'm so glad my business allowed me to contribute toward the very first man that loved me unconditionally. I love you, Dad, forever. And her dad passed away in November of this last year. And so that's what motivated her to get out there and work, is to buy a walker for her dad. Okay, this gal, her name is Tanya Peterson. She's a beautiful lady. I got a chance to just hug her neck and meet her. She said one of the most special moments for her was when her parents danced their way over to her first pink Cadillac and were the first to sit behind the wheel. That win was as important for them as it was for her. And she said the favorite thing her profits paid for was a 4-way getaway for me and my hubby, complete with first class seats on the flight, a beautiful hotel suite, some shopping and fine dining. And also, love, I was able to use my profits to gift each of our 4 young adults with $500 cash at Christmas. And if y'all have adult children, don't you think they'd like to get an envelope with $500 a piece? I'd be like, thank you, mother. Okay, this lady, her name is Tina Baker. Okay, and she said that her favorite thing to use her profits for, that she used it to pay $5,000 for her daughter's bar exam. I am also proud for a vacation for my husband that also cost $5,000. And so that's what she did. A bar, because sometimes your adult children are not on their own yet. They're still in school and they still need a little help, right? And so she did that for her children and her husband. This gal right here, I'm not even going to attempt to say her name because I know I'll jack it up. Miss Evans. She said, and she was one of the ones that spoke on the stage. She said this year alone, she financed, and this is 2023, so during that little time period, $9,219 in dreams. I was able to fix my son's car, treat myself to a Gucci purse, wallet, and sunglasses, and take my parents on vacation to Florida. My favorite thing was being able to take my parents to SeaWorld. When I was 10 years old, my mother saved for a whole year to take my brother and I to Disney World. Her favorite part of that trip was going to SeaWorld and seeing Shamu the whale. Being able to take my parents this February to SeaWorld for my Mary Kay profits was a full circle moment. My mom was like a kid in a candy store. It was priceless. Isn't that awesome? Okay, this lady, her name's Dolores Hawk. And Karen asked me to be a mentor to one of her sales directors during the qualification period, where I just would talk to and encourage her because they had qualifications they had to get done. And one of the things that she had to do was get in that equinox. And she needed to get an offspring. So I helped her do some carved gold posters and just chatted with her and just encouraged her. I did very little, but it was nice to have a part of her. So she said that she joined Mary Kay April 2000 and became a director December 2021. She said by far, this was what her favorite thing, by far was half our new truck down payment and the monthly payments for my husband's brand new truck. He so deserved that. His old truck is 27 years old. Ooh, still brings me chills. And so that's what she spent her money on. And I'm just going to read a couple more. One gal said, during really hard times, Mary Kay has put food on the table, on my family's table. I'm so grateful. Another lady said her favorite thing was remodeling of 2 upstairs bathrooms. I was not used to making so much money, and $17,000 had just accumulated in my checking account, so I was able to pay cash for the remodels. Another one said purchasing my first Louis Vuitton bag. makes me want to go get a Louis Vuitton bag. Paying for Christmas Eve dinner with my husband at a Ruth Chris restaurant and paying off one of my credit cards. Okay, have y'all come up with anything yet? Anybody want a Louis Vuitton? Go to that store, you got to save up some cash for those. Okay, one of them said her favorite profits paid for Henry's adoption of a baby. Okay, the down payment for our house, and it says last minute tickets to the Yankee Astro game in Game 5 of 2017. Another lady said her money helped finance her trip to Leadership Conference in Atlanta in 2022. She wanted to go on this trip, but you do, even though it's a Mary Kay trip, what's coming up like this? You still had to pay for your registration. You still had to pay for some plane tickets. You still had to pay for your hotel. You got to eat. So she really wanted to go, and that's what she used her profits for. Another one said, my husband and I will be enjoying the Doobie Brothers in August. And she paid for the profits with that. The Doobie Brothers. Who don't want to see the Doobie Brothers? Another lady said she was able to finance Mary Kay seminar with her profits and her leadership conference. And then this is the last one I'll read and tell you something else. This lady, it says, my credit my Mary Kay business for allowing me to finance things otherwise I couldn't afford, the ability to have more choices. However, my favorite thing in my business has helped me finance was my mother's 60th birthday party. Being the oldest of 4 children and not living in the same state as my mom meant more was going to be required from me. A couple years leading to her 60th birthday, Mom had talked about wanting to celebrate that milestone with an elegant evening dinner and dinner party and dancing with her closest friends and family. By strategically setting a weekly goal, I was able to set aside $350 a month for 4 months to contribute $1,400 to my mom's 60th birthday party. Because of Mary Kay business, this additional expense was made possible without stressing over the how. I thank God for using this business to add increase in all areas of my life. And so I just wanted to, when I was looking over this today, I had some other things I was going to share too, but I just thought this is so good to really think about what Mary Kay can really do for you guys in your life, and be intentional about doing it, and also sharing that with your customers. And I have heard this before in the past where this gal was trying to save up money to take her son to Disney World. And she had already looked what the plane tickets were going to cost, how much the park was going to cost, and the hotel, and the hotel for the however many days, and also the food. And she had that number. So for every party, she said, you guys, thank you for coming today. One of the reasons I am in Mary Kay, and one of the things I'm trying to do with the money I profit from Mary Kay is I have a family vacation. I'm trying to take my son to Disney World. And because of y'all, that's where this money is going, in case you wondered. And people just love knowing that they are spending money with someone that's trying to do something like that, right? And so if you have something, and share it with your customers and say thank you, and maybe afterwards say on your group page with your customers, thank you so much to my customers. Due to their generous purchasing of our amazing Mary Kay products, I was able to purchase blah, blah, blah. I was able to, whatever you did. And it can start out small and it can get big, and I just think women like to help other women. I do. When someone has a goal, I buy stuff I don't even need. I do. Like they'll go, hey, you want some candles? I can't even do candles. And I buy candles because she's trying to make this goal or something, and what if someone going on a mission trip and they're selling candy and I'm on a sugar diet, I buy it anyway because I want to help them. And women generally, most women have good hearts like that, and we will buy things to help others. The great thing about Mary Kay is some people buy out of like, let me help her, but then they try it and they're surprised how much they like it. And then they reorder from you, and then you got yourself a good customer. How many of y'all on here, you can just put it on there in the chat. How many of you have had a facial and someone said, I'm surprised I really like this. I really did not expect to like this. I use blankety blank, whatever, and it costs 2 times as much as this. And yet my face feels better than this and that. Put it in the chat if anyone's ever been acted surprised that they like it. because it's happened to me all the time. And I always say, I'm not surprised. But anyway, I was able to get on stage for a minute at the debut and share a few things. And one of the things that I will share that I shared on stage was that about seminar. And they asked me to share, when did I see a bigger dream for myself? And there were really 2 times. Okay. So the first one was seminar, and I had only been in the company 9 months. And so I was not even a year old yet, and so we went to seminar, and I really was expecting old lady music and everybody in pink and to be semi old fashioned and boring. Why would I think that? Because I don't know. I was 24 years old or 23. And when you're 23, you just think someone that's 50 is probably like ancient, right? And so I got there and I'm like, wow, this is huge. I mean, the stage was huge. The music was popular. Everybody was beautiful. From the youngest to the oldest, I'm like, I probably sat there with my mouth wide open for 3 days. No kidding, at everything they did and all the things I got to see. And I was forever changed. And then when Mary Kay Ash came on stage, it just blew me away. I mean, I'm sitting there going, and when I tell you I was in the nosebleed, at seminar, they used to have these, it was a different kind of thing. And the seats were, you sat where your unit ranked or whatever. My head was on I could lean all the way back because that was the wall. I was on the very back, the very back on the top. Like, if you've ever been to a concert or a ball game where there's like way up in the arena, that's how I was. But I looked at her on the big screen. She was like a little ant down there. But I just remember thinking, wow, all of this from that one woman and her 9 friends that started the company, and then then when I saw other people, I thought, I want to sit down a little closer, and I would like to be one of those ladies in those suits, those director suits, or in those red jackets, right? And so that kind of gave me a bigger picture of the company, that it wasn't just 2 or 3 ladies in a city selling lipstick. It was big. The company was huge and massive. It's even bigger today. Then the second one was when a lady I met here was Deborah Bishop. She was my adopted director. So all of you that have adopted directors, you'll understand this. And so she let me go to her meetings. And so I got motivated because I saw her earn the use of her first Mary Kay car. And I saw her have a director debut that I attended. And I saw her, be successful in Mary Kay as she taught me what she did, and everything she told me to do, I did it. My director was in Arkansas and I was here in Georgia. And I loved my sales director, but this is before cell phones, you guys. And we didn't do any Mary Kay on the computer. So I could talk to my sales director with a long distance phone call. But for the most part, I got a little newsletter. Okay. That's just the way it was. You got an Applause magazine, you could buy tapes, you would go to seminar to get your training and things like that. And you would read the Applause magazine. So it was vital for me to get with someone here in Valdosta. And there was no directors here for my first year here. And I just I just kept selling. I didn't do any recruiting until Deborah, or just like 1 or 2 people, along the way. And so me watching her achieve motivated me to achieve. So you may be doing something that someone else will watch you achieve and go, well, if she can do it, I can do it, So that's kind of what I wanted to share. For me personally, at this debut, it made me reach up with some goals that I have had that I may have thought, you know what? Like when I saw her do it, just like when I saw my friend Deborah, I thought, if Karen Ridle can do it, I could do it. Right. And, all it takes is some time, energy, and focus, and let the Lord work. Right. So it made me pick up some dreams as well. So if you have anything that you have thought about doing, that you wanted to do, that you said you were going to do, and it hadn't happened, and you're like, you know what, maybe I'm just not supposed to do that. Maybe not. Maybe you just need to keep your hand to the plow a little longer and give God something to bless. Okay. he can't really bless anything if you're not asking anybody. He can't give you a $500 party if you don't ever have a party. Right. So that's kind of what I got out of it. And the whole thing, so many little details. She gave every one of us these pictures at a dinner that was a dinner for the some of the top directors. And each of us, she had printed a picture of like me and Karen. I should have it right here. It's on I think my bedroom of each of us, and asked us to share the story of how we met at the table. Just little tiny details, even to the fact that when we left, every single person got a homemade chocolate chip cookie and this little card. And I'm just going to read it to you, and then we'll bring Gina up here. So Gina, be thinking. It says, "This is your permission slip to believe." It says, I give permission to you. This is like, remember when you were a child, you had to get a permission slip. Okay. And then you're supposed to write in your name right here. Cleta Colson-Eyre, to believe bigger in the dreams that I have placed in your heart. My mighty power is at work in you and in your dream, doing immeasurably more than you can begin to imagine. You are ready. It's time to get into action. It's time to believe. Let's go. Love, God. Isn't that neat? And so she gave every single one of us one of these when we left. So many little details. She made every single person feel so important and special. It was an amazing event. So Gina, I'm gonna let you come on here. Gina has been to Leadership Conference. So this was not her first big Mary Kay event. However, it was her first Mary Kay national debut, right? And so yes. I would love for you to just chat a minute about anything that you love, your classes, anything else you'd like to talk about.
It was all amazing. It absolutely was. I went through my notes and just tried to highlight some stuff because y'all, I took notes like there's nobody's business and recorded. So Cindy Gress, I did like when she started out, she opened and she said, is the aspirational vision of your life a hallucination? Is it a wish or is it a story? I don't know how y'all heard that, but it smacked me in the face. She said that you can either grow it or blow it. And that was, she said, I panned that because I'm a little tough around the edges, rough around the edges. Most people dream the biggest dreams while we're awake. I got a lot of things that she said. She was funny. She was hilarious, but she was really tough with grit. And I do want to say that she said in one of the other classes, not in the open arena, she was saying that lots of times we get caught up on how great Mary Kay Ash was and how warm and fuzzy and loving and kind she was. And she absolutely was all those things, but she was also strong and stern. She built $1 billion with a B dollar company, y'all. Just because she got her feelings hurt didn't mean that she didn't do anything else. So, y'all, we got to pull our bootstraps up and start taking this serious and work like a business. I mean, we can have fun and party with our girlfriends while we're working, but stop getting your feelings hurt and let's do this job. Look at all those things that Cleta just read that those people were able to finance. And that wall of dreams, Jamie and I, Vicki and Will stood out there and were reading those things from paying off medical bills to getting concert tickets. Yes, Louis Vuittons. I think one of them said gas and chicken. I mean, it can be anything that you want it to be. You just have to make that choice. She said a swallow has to flap his wings 43 times a second to maintain. Y'all, how many times are you flapping your wings? Jeannie Martin was one of my teachers, and I had never had the privilege before. She was, oh my goodness, amazing. I want to be her when I grow up. Lord Jesus. If you don't know who she is, y'all check her out if you can find anything. But she said, and by the way, she can hold a 16-minute plank. Come on. Anybody on here can rival that? But she said, how long till you get there? You practice. How much do you practice? She said a professional practices 10,000 hours. An amateur practices 6,000 hours. An athlete is 4,000 hours. So when you're practicing or when you're passionate and you're practicing your skills, even if you're just practicing with yourself, when you're putting in the time, when you're putting in the knowledge about your products, taking care of your customers. All of that stuff is practice when you're doing it consistently. If you're not doing it but once a week or once a month, you're not practicing. You got to focus on what you want to come pass. People rarely get what they want. They get what they expect. What are y'all expecting? Isn't that scary? Are you in? Are you interested? Are you all in? Are you obsessed? Be passionate and obsessed. Share with everybody. Who are your 3 ride and die? This is what I'm going to leave y'all with, because this is what she left us with. Write down who are your 3 ride or dies and blitz it. In the next 24 hours, decide to call those 3 people and ask them to help you practice. Practice your interview skills, practice your facial, practice a party, practice online, practice a shop my party, something. Call those 3 ride or dies in the next 24 hours and do it. But putting it off, start. I think that's almost
So good. Okay, I'm gonna jump on here with you for a second. I will say that on I talked to Cindy Gress. I sat by Jenny Martin at 2 dinners. Okay, one was Friday night. I went to a restaurant with some of my Mary Kay girlfriends, and then she was there with her husband, and another National Emeritus, Sue Ubel, was there with her husband. And they said, "Hey, do you want to sit with us, or do y'all just want to sit with each other?" And I looked at her, I said, "I think we would like to sit with the Nationals." And we sat with them, and I sat by Jenny, and across from Sue Ubel, who is just the heart of gold. They both are National Sales Director Emeritus. And then I sat by Jenny Martin on the last night on our special dinner that they had for us. And I said, "Am I going to get to sit by you twice?" She goes, "I think so. Why not?" And so anyway, I end up sharing with her some things about my goals. And, when something really means something to you, sometimes you get emotional about it. And there I am at the table with all these people, and I'm talking to Jenny Martin. And then all of a sudden I'm getting choked up, and oh my word, I just had to put my napkin up here. And she's like, "I'm not trying to upset you." I said, "You're not upsetting me, and I said, I just, was talking to her about becoming a national. I'll just tell you that much. Anyway, so I talked with stuff with her, and then Cindy Gress was there. And when I was leaving, the very last thing, Cindy Gress was there, and I thanked Cindy for her talk. And I just think so much of her. And she's from New Jersey, and she's a real matter of fact girl. Jeannie is such a warm person, and you just love her to death. And she's strategic, and she's very, very smart. And then Cindy will slap you around. So they're like the mix of like the perfect person. They really are. And so Cindy, when I was leaving, I thanked her, and then she was telling me, she started like poking me in the head. Have anybody ever had somebody poking you in the head? And she put her hand right here. She goes, she talked about me and my goals. And she said, when God puts something in your heart, it's also on God's heart too. And it's in there. And she said, and not her exact words, but basically, quit messing around, Cleta. Go home and do the thing. And, so you need both. You need words of encouragement, and you need somebody to slap you around a little bit and really encourage you, like, you know what to do. And a lot of us are still trying to read the entire, product ingredient list before we get out there and hold a party. You do not have to know it all. The best way to do it is just to practice. And you can practice on your husband, your 5-year-old, whoever you got to practice on, and just try it. You can't mess up a Mary Kay. One of our consultants is on here tonight, Catherine Gingerella. She did her first facial last week, and she said, "I was so scared. I'd never done it. I've just, and she says, but I made myself do it." And she chatterbooked somebody. She gave her a little blessing bag, got her name, booked her for a facial. The girl came over. She took pictures of her. They had the best time. She looked beautiful. And she said, "Now I'm not scared anymore." So it's like once you do it, you're not scared anymore. So whatever you're so nervous about, just do it, even if you stink at it. Because even if you stink at it, which Catherine didn't, you will be over the fear and think, okay, why does that scare me so bad? And so events change how you think about different things. And that's why we encourage you to go to events and even get on calls like this. But like, especially some things like seminar. And I know a lot of you are already registered. I'm so proud of my girls. That like in a couple of days, we have 12 people registered when you include the husbands and Selah as well and her team. And so we want to double that. And we just want to get as many people as possible to go to seminar, because the 60th year is going to be off the chain, y'all, off the chain. And so we just will, I think I want to read you something to end it with. And Gina, thank you so much. This it's for all of you about praying for, here it is. This was on Karen Ridle's desk, and she was praying for leaders. Consultants, you can use the same thing, because don't you, when you have new team members, wouldn't you love them to be a leader, right? And so this is what this is the little thing here, but I'm just going to read it to you. And it said, "Dear God, please bring me leaders who ... love God or want to know him better, have a positive attitude, love people, believe big, are willing and ready to work, are ready and willing to work, are loyal, has integrity, and have confidence." And every morning she said, I had this on my thing, and I would just go, and she goes, I would just pray it. She goes, and I'm telling you that she turned around and looked at all of her directors. And she said, y'all are the answers to this prayer. She goes, I never could have handpicked anybody better than all of you. The Lord gave you to me because I prayed for y'all every day. And people rose up in her area that some she didn't know or expect. And the women up there, you can tell how much they love her, and you can tell how much she loves them. And it was just the neatest experience to see that, and the journey that they took together. And they're doing really good. Her area, just watch it. She will end up being an Inner Circle National Sales Director, because, and to remind you who she is to us, and I thanked her publicly on that stage, is she's the one that 3 or 4 years ago, we've always called ourselves the Boss Babes, right? Our Boss Babe call, right? But a couple of years ago, she had a little program, and it was Boss Babe. And we went through it, and she like outlined it, y'all remember? And then the next year she had a different Boss Babe one. And then last year she did the one, this past year, it was always like January 1st through like the next 9 weeks. It was Be the Game Changer. Y'all remember? And so Karen is the one that came up with the whole entire program. And then I put my little PowerPoint cuteness on it and shared some things with it. But she is so willing to give, like she comes up with these ideas, and then she shares them with the Mary Kay world. And I thanked her for all the Boss Babes, our Boss Babes. I thanked her. I said, you will never know the impact you have made on us. Because if you remember, one year we went through the autobiography and the Pass It On book, remember? And so we had, in the 1 year, we just went through all the different skill sets in Mary Kay. And so she's just really good in coming up with programs, and I'm really good at implementing them. And so, you know what? I thank her from the bottom of my heart. She is a dear, dear friend to me. And I'm so glad I was able to go and celebrate with her. And anytime you get a chance to go to someone's Mary Kay celebration, whether it's a director debut, a national debut, a red jacket debut, go, because it'll make you think about your dreams a little bit more too. So thank you, Gina, so much for jumping on here with us. And it's 9 o'clock almost. So you know what? We're not even going to do affirmations tonight. We're just going to leave it at that, you guys. So thank y'all for watching. And I would love for, if you're in my unit, to take the challenge, 2 challenges. Okay. And we gave it our lunch meeting today. And one is to write down something that you're going to finance with your Mary Kay money in the next 4 weeks, and let me know what it is and what you're working toward. And if you're not in my unit, tell your director. Okay. Because she would love to know. And the second one is really simple. It's just to get 5 people to download the Mary Kay app each week. 5 people to download the Mary Kay app and register under you. Because what we talked about at our lunch meeting is that people are buying so much more product from that app than they do by just telling you they need their cleanser. Because when they do it on the app, just like I do and like you do when you're ordering something, I always get, like, if I go to Soma, okay, they got, PJs, panties, and bras. I'll go on there and I'll just say, yeah, this is what I really need. And then I end up getting, well, let me go ahead and add a bra. Well, I could use some new pajamas. And how much is it for free shipping? Well, let me just go ahead and add that too. So instead of $39 for 5 pair of panties, I got $100 coming in at bras, panties, and pajamas. Your customers will do the same. And I would suggest that you go on there and have a minimum for free shipping. Mine is set at $75. You can just go on your marykay.com and it'll tell them if you spend this much, you'll get free shipping. And then honestly, some of you're not gonna have to ship anyway, because you can go get it out of your Mary Kay inventory. You probably have it right on your shelf. But if you were going to ship it, then you can give them free shipping if they hit a certain number. What you don't want to do is free shipping on a $10 order, or you will lose money in Mary Kay, and that is not good business practice. So if someone has a $10 order and you don't have it on your shelf and you're doing a customer delivery service, you charge her the shipping. I just wanted to say that is fine to do. No one would want you to lose money in Mary Kay by shipping them, but I do honor my customers who order bigger with free shipping, and it's worth it to me to do that, and they buy more because of it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, you guys have a great week. The next time we will see you will be May 1st. Can y'all believe it? It's what we usually call May Day. I'm not going to get the maypole out and put my maypole outfits on. If you're old enough to know what the maypole is, you can tell me about that later. We used to wrap the maypole, but we will see y'all in May. There's a lot to do between now and the end of the month to get your Golden Rule Achievers earrings. I should have worn them tonight. They're so beautiful. And to finish out and be a 4-star, and to work on your recruiting so you can get that free red jacket for the most important things list. Okay. All right, you guys. Love y'all. Thank you. Yeah, Gina, here, hold those up real quick. Gina's got these. These are the earrings. They're gorgeous. I've already worn them. That's why I don't have them on, because they're back. I've already worn them 2, 3, 4 times. I say they go with everything. All right. Have a great one. And thank y'all so much for coming on here tonight.